Norvell to your right.
Hey, Malik, how you doing?
I'm good. How about you?
Good. So I guess first time we're getting to talk to you, how has your experience been so far in Tallahassee? What's it been like just meeting your new teammates and coaches?
I love it so far, and I just love the tradition, and I just love how everyone on the team has just welcomed me with open arms.
We're going to go to Brendan Sinone, first row on your left.
Hi, Malik.
How you doing?
Good, thanks. Could you go over the recruiting process for us? I guess like in this particular cycle, you had a few visits. I guess what about Florida State ultimately stood out and why you picked Florida State here?
So when I was coming out of JUCO, I had a good relationship with Coach Dugans and Coach Norvell. So, when I ended up hitting the portal, I knew that, Florida State was going to be a school that, I was going to want to go to. And so, I just definitely had to lock in the visit. And then when I came down here, it checked all the boxes, and I just fell in love with it, and that's why I picked it.
Stay there for Chris Nee.
Morning, Malik. What is it about the offense here that appeals to you and interests you and fits your skill set?
Coach Norvell, he likes to put his playmakers in, different spots on the field, and he loves to give his playmakers the ball. So just knowing that I have a year left, I have to maximize every opportunity that I have, and, just coming and being in this offense to, playing outside or inside, I think that's going to create the most value for me.
We'll go to Essen, second row on the left.
Florida State's also bringing a new quarterback in DJU. What's your relationship with him before, and how have you gotten to know him since you've gotten here?
Once I committed, he texted me saying, let's work. And, just as a quarterback receiver, that got to be like my best friend. So, just every single day we're doing what we got to do to get that connection.
Go to Jordan on your left.
Hey, Malik, kind of circling back, you've had a pretty incredible journey to get to this point. Can you just talk about that journey, what it means to you to play your final season at Florida State?
It means everything. God put me in this position, and he, not everyone's path is easy. So just having to, start JUCO, then, go to Alabama, and now I'm here, it's just a blessing.
Come back to Brendan on the front row.
Obviously, the transfer recruiting process goes really quickly. I guess how do you go about doing research on schools and specifically like scheme for Florida State? I know they recruited you a little bit before, but how did you go about looking at different schemes and how you would fit in here specifically?
When we weren't playing, I watched a lot of Florida State games. So, saw what they did with Keon, and he was here for a year. So it was just I just wanted to kind of be on the same thing. I saw how they used him, and I was like, well, I think they could use me like that too.
Come back to Ira, second row on your right.
Kind of following up on that, you've played in a few different offenses now in college. Does anything stand out so far now that you've gotten in the playbook and starting to see what Florida State does?
Just like I said, they're not going to have me limited to just one spot on the field. They're just going to move me around and just, let me be a playmaker.
Go to Aslan in the back corner.
Can you kind of maybe talk about the experience of going from JUCO to the Power 5 level and just, maybe how much more comfortable you think you'll feel this next time around?
So going from JUCO to the Power 5 level, in junior college you don't have, the facilities, and you don't have just all the exposure. So going from being in the middle of nowhere in Kansas to, being at a Power 5 school to where there's not a lot of things you got to ask for, they just, automatically give to you. It was really just a blessing, just being able to be a part of that. And then just my second time going through, I know what to do, what not to do. If I need something, I know that I need to go ask. I know I have one more year left, so I really got to maximize and get everything I can about this 1 year.
All right, we'll come to the Zoom for a question from Logan Robinson.
Hey, Malik, how is tour duty going for you, and is there any kind of difference from your previous stop? How's that going?
Definitely tour duty, it makes you realize that it's mind over matter. When your mind and your body wants to tell you to quit, you got to just shut that all off, and you just got to keep going. So it's definitely challenging, but I see why Florida State does what they do because of this conditioning program.
Come back to Ira on your right.
how nice has it been to have some of your former teammates here with you? And did you guys talk at all during the process?
So before I committed, there was one other player, Earl, and I just asked him like how he liked it. I told him I was gonna come up on a visit, and then I liked it. And then I know some of my other teammates, they started getting in the portal, and they just started asking me like, did I like it? And I just told them like, yeah, but you got to come see for yourself. But all of us being here, it's just like a little brotherhood that was already formed. Like we bring it here, and we can bring like what we know to this team, and it's gonna just make the team stronger.
We'll go back to SN, second row on your left.
Obviously, you had already been in the portal, but what was your reaction when Nick Saban retired, and what is it to be like, to be one of the last players to play for him?
I definitely am just grateful for Coach Saban giving me the opportunity to be able to play for him. And, I did not actually think that he was going to retire, but, he's a great coach, and he definitely gave me some gems that I can forever use, not just in football, but in life. So I really am thankful for him because of that.
Back to Brendan, front row on your left.
Can you kind of explain your skill set, things that you're really confident in that you do well, and how do you think that'll be used in this offense?
First, I would say my speed. I think just off the line, I can definitely be the deep threat in this offense. And I would just say, my attacking the ball point and route running.
Obviously, at Hutch, you were the guy, right? And then you go to Alabama, and they've got some other really talented, experienced receivers, and you have to kind of be one of the guys. What did you learn through that process, and how will that help you think, going forward?
Just being in a receiver room with a whole bunch of different guys, it, just showed me that whatever opportunity you have to take advantage of it just because, there's a lot of guys, so everyone, essentially has to touch the ball. So just like when you get the ball, like what are you going to do with it? And just taught me to just be like a good teammate. Like even if it's not always going my way, I have to, encourage my brother because maybe it's his day.
I was going to follow up on the question I asked before about your former Alabama guys. Could you talk about them a little bit? Like what is Florida State getting in Earl, Roydell, maybe specifically?
Someone like Earl, he's a dog. He's a leader. He works very hard, and he's just like always ready to work no matter what. And then Roydell, really just the same thing. Like he's a just natural born leader, and he just wants the best for him, but not only him, his teammates. And so he's just a high energy, positive guy. And guys like that, it's good that we have him here to build on this culture and really take this thing to where it really needs to go.
Go back to Jordan, third row on the left.
Kind of following up on what Ira said, can you talk about your role as a leader on this team? It's going to be a lot younger. I know obviously it's your first season here, but you've kind of been around the block.
Yeah, just like my role, I'm coming and I've played, college football for some years, so it's really just when guys just really need someone to talk to, or the young guys need help with the playbook, like I feel like it's my role to help them with that, just because I've been in a couple different playbooks and I really understand it, and like some things that they can ask me, they don't want to ask the coaches. Like I'm old enough to where I feel like they should just be able to come to me with that, and I can help them out just because I've really experienced like everything.
Okay, we'll come to Chris, front row.
You referenced earlier that you had a pre-existing relationship with Coach Norvell, Coach Dugans. What is it about Coach Norvell that you liked about the first time around, and what was it when you were re-recruited this time that also stood out to you?
Yeah, his energy just never changed. Like he's a very high energy guy, and you can never tell like if he's having a bad day. He just always the same person. And then when I was able to like officially meet him, it never changed from on the phone to in person, because like sometimes you don't get like the same coach once you commit somewhere. So, and it's not even just like how he treats me, just how he treats everybody, the staff, even like different players on the team. Like if he sees anyone in the building, like he doesn't hesitate to speak. He's just a very high energy guy, and I really love that.
We'll come to Kurt here in the front row to your right.
I know you're coming from another talented wide receiver room at Alabama, and I know you haven't seen him in practice yet, but I guess what are your impressions of the wide receiver room you're joining the guys in there, how talented they are?
I just love to see that they're hardworking. You could tell, like, with me coming in, it's going to just push everyone that extra mile, and just to see, like, we all got things to work on. So, there's things that I can't do right now that I look at other receivers when we're just, doing routes on air, and I'm trying to take their game, and then they're trying to take game from me. So it's definitely going to be a good year for the receivers, and I'm really excited to work with everybody in that room.
We'll come back to Ira, second row on your right.
You mentioned watching some Florida State games in the past. Did you see much of DJ in his games throughout his career? And if not, have you gone back and watched anything? What stands out about him?
Yeah, I actually was able to watch DJ. I have a childhood friend that played receiver over there with him, so I tune in as much as I can. But, the thing I like about DJ is he can make every throw, and he likes to throw that deep ball, something that I like to run. So, just that connection and that me and DJ, are building, I really can't wait for everyone to see because it's going to be really good. Anthony Gold, number 2 at Oregon State, receiver.
Anything else from Malik? All right, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Malik.
Thank you.